Hi everyone, welcome back to another 20-minute strength exercise tutorial. And today we're going to be helping you to nail the Romanian deadlift. Now the RDL is one of the best exercises for strengthening the posterior chain. Primarily the hamstrings, so the back of your thighs, your glute muscles, and then we're asking a lot of your core and the muscles that run up your spine to help out in stabilizing you throughout the movement. Exercises like the RDL are a crucial part of any strength program because we know that creating strength in our muscular belt, so our core and the muscles that run up either side of our spine, is so important for injury prevention and developing our posture. As well as this, strengthening the glutes and the hamstrings like we do in the RDL is a fantastic way to ensure that we're improving our running motion as we extend that leg back. Even for walking and things like picking objects up off the floor, these everyday activities that we know we need to just get a little bit stronger for. These muscles tend to get shorter and a little bit tighter just through modern life of sitting every day. So although it might be difficult at the start, we're going to teach you the proper movement pattern for these RDLs and ensure that you're feeling strong in the movement. Now you can perform this exercise with your resistance band, dumbbells, or any objects you have lying around the house that are heavy enough to challenge you in this exercise. I'll show you the banded variation first, and then I'll show you what to do with my water bottle weights. So if you're using the band, you're going to place it down on the floor, step hips width apart with the feet, with the toes facing slightly forward. Bend down, making sure you're tucking your pelvis in order to come down, so not putting too much load in the spine, and you're just going to grab the handles that you've created with this resistance band. From here, tuck the pelvis and come to a stand, and I'll walk you through the setup for this exercise. So roll the shoulders back and allow them to naturally fall down. You'll already feel a little bit of resistance from the band here, but that's okay. Toes are going to be facing forward. We're going to bring a slight bend into our knees just to make sure we're not too rigid in this position. And I want you to think about tucking your tailbone. So it's that posterior pelvic tilt, squeezing the glutes to bring your pelvis underneath your rib cage. On that same token, think about depressing the rib cage down if you feel like you're flaring out at all, like so. So just bring the rib cage down towards your pelvis. And this just creates a nice neutral spine for the start of the movement. Ensure that that core is braced like you're about to take a punch to the gut, or you can always give it a cough. And that's that feeling in the core that you want, that braced, engaged feeling. And then from here, we're really just thinking about sending the butt back. So what you can imagine is that you've got a door. You could even do this physically. You've got a door behind you, about 2-3 feet behind you, let's say, and you're trying to close that door with your butt. So in order to come down towards the floor, we're not folding over, but we're hinging back, okay? So that neutral spine is maintained, and as I'm sending the butt back, I keep that bend in the knees and my upper body comes towards parallel to the floor. With that tailbone still tucked, so I'm not dumping all of this weight into my lower back, allowing the butt to go up and out towards the ceiling, but I'm keeping that tailbone tucked, and then from here, driving the hips forward through extension to come back to your standing position. Okay, now let's walk through that again. You've got a slight bend in the knees. I'm sending my butt backwards in order to come down, keeping that tailbone tucked. And as you can see, I've sent my butt as far back as I can in this position. I've got real stretch coming through the hamstrings. I feel it in my glutes because I'm keeping that pelvis tucked down. And then from here, I drive the hips back up through as the resistance increases in the band. If you are doing the variation with the band, you can obviously choose a higher resistance band to increase the difficulty, or you can use the same band and simply wrap your hands in the band a little bit more to bring the hands closer towards the feet, and that just reduces the length of the band, increasing the resistance and therefore increasing your level of challenge. Now, if that movement feels a little bit weird to you, because it definitely does at first, this hinge movement pattern of hinging the butt backwards in order to come down, it's probably one of the most technically difficult movements when it comes to strength training. you can actually regress it and come down into a kneeling position on your mat. Now what this is going to do is take out some of the leverage in the motion and just allow you to focus on what the hips and the butt is doing. So in this kneeling position here, my toes are tucked at the back, and I'm just thinking about tucking that tailbone. So if you're out like this, you've got a little bit of a dip through the lower back and your butt's sticking out. Just tuck the tailbone by squeezing the glutes. That way, if we imagine our pelvis is a pail of water, you're leveling out the pail and you're keeping a nice neutral spine, which allows the rib cage to stack over the pelvis nice and neatly. This is your strongest, most stable position. So we'll go for this. Brace that core. You should feel a little bit already once you tuck the tailbone. And then I want you to just think about sending the butt back as you come down towards the floor. Just come down to a position where you feel challenge in the hamstrings and the glutes, and then drive the hips forward in extension. You don't need to come back too far, just come back up to your starting position. So let's go for a couple more reps. Sending the butt back to come down, and then drive back up. Sending the butt back to come down, and then drive back up. Once you get used to that hinge motion, you're going to come to a standing position, perform exactly the same again, just without the band or any dumbbells. And you can always keep your hands on your hips if that helps you focus, keeping that tailbone tucked. So slight bend in the knees as you send the butt back. Feel that stretch through the hamstrings, feel that engagement in the glutes, and then extend the hips forward in order to come back up. You'll notice that I keep a nice neutral spine, so at no point am I folding over to get lower. It's just that hinge motion through the hips and the butt. Drive the hips forward, hinge, drive the hips forward. From there, you can use the band. You can also use dumbbells or any weights you have around the house. It's going to be exactly the same motion here. So the weights are just held in front of you, and we're performing that hinge pattern for the Romanian deadlift. In order to progress this, you can grab an increased resistance of the resistance band itself, or you can increase the load with your objects or dumbbells. Make this exercise a little bit harder to suit your current level of challenge. As always, make sure you give us a follow and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with all of these exercise tutorials. And if you haven't checked out 20 Minute Strength already, head over to our website and find out how you can get strong in just 3 20-minute workouts a week. Bye.